is blessing, and I do blessing things, blessing. And when I do them, I always smile, because blessing makes the world go round. Yes, blessing makes the world go round. Hola, creepy doves. In this video, I've embraced the macabre by painting some more skeletal type of figures, animal portraits in skeleton form, which is very fun. And I also paint some figures that aren't skeletons, and I do a little bit of painting outside. So if any of that interests you, then stay tuned. I decided to show you doves what I worked on yesterday. So a couple years ago when I was in college, I bought this layout bond paper thinking that it was drawing paper. I bought it from the school bookstore, so I paid way too much for it. But I never used it, but I wanted to use it now. So yesterday I looked up what layout bond paper was, and I quickly discovered that it is a very thin paper. It's 16-pound paper, and it has 50 sheets. No wonder the sketchbook is so thick. Anyway, I took that and I tore it down to size and made a sketchbook out of duct tape. Yeah, this is all duct tape. And it's a really thick sketchbook. But I decided to make it into a sketchbook so that I actually use the paper, because the paper is really thin. Like, I did this purple mark right here, and when you turn the page you can still see it right there. And when you turn the page like this, you can still see my duct tape marks. And I decided this sketchbook, it's going to be a cheap sketchbook, and it's going to be for when I go for walks, because I'm going to try and walk more and just draw what I see when I walk and things like that, so that I can draw multiple times and not feel like I'm wasting paper, because I didn't know this came with 50 sheets. But I folded it in half. Oh, excuse me, I'm yawning. I folded it in half, and then I folded it again to get the square shape. And so I have a lot of pages. I don't know how many pages that equals. I would have to calculate it, and I don't want to do that. But I have a lot of pages, and this was so hard to bind together because it is really, really thick. So I poked itself with my awl. You can see the poke mark right there, because this is just so thick. And I'm yawning again. You can see I accidentally poked a hole through some of the pages. So this is just really cheap. I could have made like 2 or 3 smaller sketchbooks with this. But the reason why I didn't do that was because I don't have a lot of duct tape. And to make this one book, I used almost all of this duct tape. And I need to get more duct tape is what I'm saying, because I like having it as a cover. I usually use Yupo paper for the covers of my sketchbooks, but I ran out of Yupo paper. And I don't have the money to buy more right now. So I was like, let me try making a sketchbook out of duct tape. So that's what I did. And this is the result. And I really like it. It's nice and smooth. I can't stop touching it. And so that's what I did yesterday. I forgot to also mention that normally with books, they're the power just shut off. What just happened? That was so scary. the video. This is staying in the video because I got scared. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. Normally with books, if you look at them, mainly if you look at the hardcover books, they're divided, the pages are divided into what's called signatures. So you see, if you look at a really thick book, they have multiple of those divisions, multiple signatures, and that makes up the thickness of the spine. But with these sketchbooks, I've only been using one signature because I should have used multiple signatures to make this book. But the thing is, I don't really know how to connect them all together in a book. I only really know how to do the one signature. I'm sure if I relearned it, because I took a bookbinding class when I was in college, total game changer class. Like I learned how to make books, boxes, and clamshells for those books and things like that. It was a very, very fun class, and it was a 1-month class. And I, to this day, still use those skills. So you want to talk about a useful class. That bookbinding class was so useful for an artist because now I make my own sketchbooks and everything. But I kind of get lazy and I only use one signature instead of the multiple signatures because I have a hard time remembering how to connect the multiple signatures together. And with these types of books, I only make the spine for like one signature anyway. So this book literally only has one signature, and you can see that. And you can see if I squeeze it like this, how thick everything is, which is cray that I even got my awl to go through this. But I almost tore out this page here. Because it's just so thin, and it was a lot to do. But I have a new sketchbook. What I'm gonna do, I'm still gonna use my other sketchbook, but that's gonna be more for like more serious-y type of stuff, and this is just gonna be for like casual things. This is gonna be for like casual things that I see when I'm walking and stuff, and not really like fully finished sketches and things like that. So this is my non-intimidating sketchbook is what I'm trying to say, because I have all these pages, and so I intend to fill them with very not so serious drawings. So there's that. A big reason why I made that sketchbook is because I do plan on walking more, but also I plan on going to the library sometime this week, because I need to finish this book called The Undertaking of Lily Chen. It is a graphic novel, and it's beautifully drawn too. Oh, here, let me show you like this. It's a beautifully drawn graphic novel. And it's about this guy, his brother dies. This is all at the very beginning. His brother dies, and so he has to find a bride for his dead brother. And it turns into sort of like a quest or whatever. And I really like it. I love the art. Because, you know, I said I'm writing a book, I'm writing my first graphic novel, and so I was like, let me start checking out other graphic novels to see what is out there. And as you can see, I'm almost done reading it. I haven't picked it up in a while because I've been so busy creating art. But I plan on returning this to the library this week, so I have to finish reading it. I renewed it, so it's not due till the 30th of August, but I would like to finish this book and go to the library and maybe check out some art books or something, because I don't really think I have time to read stories anymore. Or maybe I can make time. They have a good selection of graphic novels, so I don't know what I'm gonna do. I really don't. But yeah, I need to finish reading this. And you see the cover, it's a skull. And the spine also has a skull on it. That's really cool. That's what drew me to it in the first place. I love skulls. So today is Thursday, and I've realized there's no way I'm going to make it to the library this week. This week has been so difficult tech-wise for me because my website uses a domain name that I bought from Google, blessio.art. Because Google Domains offered domains that had free Whois protection. So whenever you buy a domain name like a .com, .net, whatever name, all of your information that you have to put can be looked up by anybody through a Whois database. But Google domains have the Whois protection, so it protects your privacy and your information can't be looked up, which is why I went with Google domains. Their domains are more expensive than if I went to like GoDaddy or Namecheap, but at the same time, I don't have to pay extra for Whois protection like you would if you went with GoDaddy or Namecheap or whatever. So I've been using Google domains since 2020, 2021, something like that. And they recently sold their domain stuff to Squarespace. And so Squarespace is now where I have to do my domain registrar updates and where I have to pay to renew my domain name so that my site doesn't go down and all that stuff. But the problem was I have two domains that I bought with Google domains, blessio.art and blessio.com. Blessio.com I don't use, but I bought it so that no one else can have it. I use blessio.art for my website. And I didn't realize that I used two different email addresses for both of these domain names. And so I was having trouble renewing blessio.art because it was with an email address that I no longer use. Well, I still use it, but not really. Long story with that. And so I had to email Squarespace, and they responded to me, and they were like, we see this domain name, but your email is different, so you need to sign in with your old email so that we can verify that you are who you say you are, and all this other stuff. I was like, okay, well, let me do this. So I logged into that old email and was able to renew my domain name, and I think I managed to move that domain to my current email address. I have a separate email address just for my art business. It's like the central hub for all things art business. It's not anything personal. I don't even use it to sign up for like newsletters or anything like that. And so I think I managed to move the domain to that email address, but I'm not 100% sure. In any case, I still have access to my old email account, so I can still renew my domain name. It's just a little bit tedious. And I'm just like, I was really skeptical about this whole Squarespace acquisition. I don't know why Google decided to sell their domain service over to Squarespace, because I love Google domain names. It was just so easy and so simple. With Squarespace, I had to go from like one help page to another help page to another help page just to update my billing info, because my billing information is different. So I was getting emails about renewing my domain name, and it's like, well, I can't really do that if I can't update my billing info. Now, can I? And it just was a lot. And so I had to deal with that. And then I also had to upload my latest blog article, because I'm going to start uploading again. And so thankfully my website itself didn't give me any tech headaches. It's just I have a plugin on my website that backs up my website. Well, I tell it to. You can have it do it automatically, but it slows your website down tremendously if you do that. So I do it manually. And so, but the problem is the backups is slow. It's really slow. And so I had to update several plugins because I haven't updated plugins in a very long time. Plugins are basically add-ons for your website to make your website do things, because my website uses WordPress. Um, and so plugins help your website to function and do things it wouldn't normally be able to do with just WordPress alone. So I haven't updated my plugins in several months because I haven't been online in several months. So I had to update my plugins, and I had to make sure my plugins did not, I had to make sure the updates did not ruin the website. And so I was doing that, and then I was also having to backup things. So I would update a few plugins, check the website to make sure it was still functional. Then I would back up the whole website, which took forever. Then I'll update some more plugins and make sure that the website was still functioning, and then back up, and then back and forth, and back and forth, and back and forth. And that process took about 2 days because my first day, which I think I started this whole process on Monday, my Monday or Tuesday, I can't remember, I had to update WordPress itself. WordPress had an update. So I had to back up my whole website, which took forever. And by the time it was done, it was late at night, and I didn't want to do anything else. So I didn't do anything else. And so then the next day, I was doing the plugin update thing. And then I've been having to do this domain stuff, which thankfully I figured it out. I renewed my domain name, thank goodness, because it was going to lapse on the 24th of August, which you can look all this up on the Whois database, so I'm not giving out any private info. But it was a lot, and I haven't done any art today. I have barely been creating it all this week, and so this week it'll probably just be like some really basic footage because I haven't been creating it all, and I have therapy tomorrow, so I'm like really anxious about that. And I have a lot. I've done so much tech stuff that I'm just like, I just want to create art. I just want to create. So let me show you the sketches I made yesterday, because I did make sure to create art yesterday. I'm going to start by showing you stuff from this sketchbook. This is the sketchbook I made the other day. Oh, that's what I did Monday. I made a sketchbook. I drew this tree from the view from my window, and that turned out really well. And then I drew this tree that did not turn out really well. And then we watched the Scorched Trials the other night, and so I drew this scene from the Scorched Trials. This is when they realized that they were still under Wicket's control. And then I painted this. This was done in watercolor because this paper is said to be used for like dry media only. So of course I'm going to paint in it because I wanted to see how the paint would react. And I used watercolor because that's the thinnest paint that I have. And it turned out really well. And then I just sketched out some still lifes using my Inktense pencils. But what I realized is that if you get it wet on one side, it reactivated the watercolor on this side. So I can see why they don't recommend using paint with this. But I'm still going to use paint anyway. So I made this sketch. This sketch is based off of... Let me get it back out. It's based off of this sketch. As I use this sketch as reference, and I made this sketch, and I think this turned out so much better. I just think it looks so good. I'm trying to get more into doing interiors, but I'm trying to do it in my style, and so I'm trying to emphasize things and make things abstract and create things that aren't really there and that type of thing. Then I drew this cat because I have a cat and a dog salt and pepper shaker, and they're skeletal cats for Dia de los Muertos, and I'm trying to do more macabre art because that's really what my brand was founded on. I just don't do it often because I worry people will think there's something wrong with me, but I'm trying to ignore those voices now and do more macabre type of stuff. So I did this cat and I got so inspired I did another cat. Though I don't really, this one's my least favorite because I didn't get the paws in to do the claws. I like doing the claws. So I did this cat, and then I used Pimpin, who's over there, as reference for this sketch. She was laying down, and I drew her sleeping, and then she moved, and so the anatomy of this kind of doesn't make a lot of sense, but that's okay. And I was able to put her claws in there on her foot. And this one's my favorite. And so I think I'm going to make an actual painting out of this sketch right here. I want to maybe do a series. Pimpin, no, don't do that. Don't do that, Pimpin. She was scratching my comforter. I think I want to do like a series of like skeletal animals or something. I think that'd be really cool. Way back in 2021, I did this sketches of some skeletal animals. I did one of a raccoon, a zebra, and a narwhal because I was going to make clay pins, but I wanted them to be skeletal, and so I did these skeleton sketches, and now I want to do more skeleton sketches for this series that I'm working on now. But right now, I'm doing a simplified version of the narwhal skeleton. So that's the complex version. And this is the simplified version. And I'm doing it for a future painting. So let's hope this turns out right. So this is how the narwhal turned out. I really like it, though I want to put some foliage in the background and make it look more underwater like. But this is a good start. This is a really good start. So then I did a bat, and I love how this one turned out, but I want to put some trees in the background. Um, and I really love how this one turned out. Then I did this peacock, and I may have gotten a little over ambitious because I don't like this one very much. It just, like, I guess maybe it's the colors. The colors resemble that of like an actual peacock, and the tree is like actual tree colors, and I need to rethink this one because I'm not really liking it. But anyway, I thought I'd show it to you doves anyway. So I got back from therapy a little while ago. I did a lot of sketching while I was waiting for my therapist and after my appointment while I was waiting for Daniel. And this is the first sketch I did. It's of a fake plant that I saw. I really love the way I did the leaves because I'm trying to figure out whether or not I like having leaves whenever I do trees. That rhymed, and I really like that. And then it was this lady who came, and she was on her iPad, and I drew her really quickly, and then she moved, and so I kind of stopped sketching her. So then I went to therapy, and then after therapy, all of a sudden there was just so many people who were at the office, and so I started drawing everyone I could see. There was this lady with some really giant red glasses, and I just drew her. She was talking to somebody, and then she left, and she had this really pretty ombre shirt on, and then she left. And then there was this lady. This lady sat right in front of me, and I couldn't tell if she knew I was drawing her or not, but she kept smiling at me, and I drew her. She had on these big red glasses too. Like, everyone had on big red glasses, and I love the way that this one turned out. I started to draw like another chair. She was sitting next to a table. I was gonna draw like the outside area because this is a window, but then I saw this lady, and I think she's Muslim because she was wearing like that. They cover like their whole body with, I don't know what it's called, but she was wearing that, and I was like, I have to draw her because I've never drawn anyone who dresses this way. And she was waiting in line, and so I drew her, and then she moved, and I was like, she was like next in line, and so I was like, I have to draw her. And so when she sat down, I continued drawing her. And I think she turned out so good. This is my favorite sketch. I love the fact that I drew someone who wears this type of outfit. And it was like a yellow orchard type of color, a very earthy yellow. And so I had a lot of fun. And then I drew another guy. He was in his pajamas. And so I drew him in his pajamas looking down at his paper. This sketch didn't turn out too great because he kept moving, but I drew him anyway. And then Daniel came, so I was able to be picked up. And now I have to fold all my clothes because I haven't done laundry in a while, and so I have a lot of clothes I have to fold. shows some of the figure drawings I've done. This was my first one, which I did the beginning of August, and I take watercolor and do like abstract washes, and then I create figures out of those abstractions. So this was the first one I did, and I thought that turned out really well. And then I did, hang on, I'm looking. I did it again not that long ago. I did this, and this time I used colored pencil and oil pastel, and I'm still a little iffy about the oil pastel. I don't know if I like it or not, but I have several oil pastels that I've collected over the years, just cheap kind. Like I have Pentel, I have Sakura Kreepy, and I have one from this art box thing that was given to me. And so I did this yesterday, and I really liked it. My favorite is this guy. I really like how he turned out. And then I did this today. I just wanted to focus on people's faces. These are all made up in my head, so they don't look very realistic, but I think they look passable as people. And I like, oh, excuse me, I'm yawning. I like using colors that aren't skin tone colors, but I did use kind of a skin tone color here. It was Potter's Pink, but watered down and mixed with some yellow. So these are the figures that I've done. This page just makes me so happy for some reason, and I don't know why. Probably because I really went heavy on the mixed media. I might do more figures now. This one I did the other day. I forgot to show this one in the last clip, but I did this one the other day, and this one's still my favorite. I really like this one. I think it's because I use references for the dresses, and so it looks more believable as people. But I really like this one, and I can't believe I forgot to show you doves. So anyway, this is how this one turned out. I am here outside in my backyard, and I think I see a scene that I'd like to paint. Let me show you the things that I brought. So I brought my 2 sketchbooks, one for casual, easy drawing, and one for like more sophisticated drawing. I brought colored pencils, and I brought my watercolors, some water, 2 brushes, and my pencil sharpener, and I also brought something to drink my own water out of, in case I get thirsty. So this is the sketch I'm gonna go with. I really like it. It's to mimic what's happening up here. Let me zoom in just a little bit. Kind of like that. Yeah, that's kind of what it is. So this is the sketch that I came up with. It's a bit more of a muted paletto than what I usually do, but I really like it. I love the leaves and how some of them are lighter than others. And I really love combining watercolor and colored pencil together. I think that they just work really well together. I would have took out my oil pastels, but I didn't want to carry too much, so I left those in the studio. But I love it. My eyes are instantly drawn to the leaves, but they make me go all over the composition. Works just let out. Service just let out, but I'm still here because Daniel has to go to a transition team meeting, and so I'm gonna be here till maybe 1 o'clock, I think. So I'm going to paint. Let me get it. This shelf. I'm gonna start painting that because I need to do something while I'm here. Otherwise, I'll go stir crazy. So I need to wash it. I need to wipe it down first. It's pretty dusty. So I'm going to work on that. Let me show you the birdhouse because I don't think I showed you the full version in the last video. So this is the birdhouse. As you can see, I made it look really nice. I still need to varnish it though. That's why it's not hanging up outside. But I just did this pattern throughout and I really like it. So I finished the base coat. I did all the sides except for the back because usually furniture doesn't paint the back so that the paint doesn't get on your walls on accident. But yeah, it was really fun. I'm going with blues and greens because I'm trying to do a nighttime scene, so I might eventually block out the white that I added to the blue. But I add white to it so that you can see that it's blue. But I may have added a bit too much white. But anyway, I'm gonna do some trees and I want to paint some owls and some stars. So that's what this is gonna be. So in this corner over here, there's these, it's like a collage photo of children doing candid things, and I decided I'm gonna draw those photos because I was heavily inspired by Sandy Hester's painting from family photographs video, and I don't really have family photos. I have photos of like me and stuff, but they're in storage, and I may have some in my closet, but I have to look through my closet, which I can't really do right now. And so I'm just going to paint from those photographs of the children. I'm not going to show the children. I'm not going to show the photographs of the children because, you know, child safety and all that. But I will show you my drawings. Colored pencils to draw these. This was the first one of a little girl about to enter the playhouse, and I really like how it turned out. And then I did this one of this kid. He had a worried expression on his face. He probably didn't want to be photographed, and he had this beautiful like patterned cup in his hands, so I drew that. And I really wanted to make sure I got his worried expression. And I think I did a good job. Children, they have such big heads. Like, their heads are, like, really weirdly proportioned to their bodies. But I think I did a good job with him. And then I was like, let me be ambitious. So I did 2 figures from one photograph. And this is a girl trying to show a block to another girl who's not really interested. I started to draw the background, but then Daniel got done with their meeting. And the background is basically has the playhouse in the background. And there's a bunch of Legos like right here. So I can just easily abstract that. But this is how this sketch turned out. I really like this sketch. I love the wonky eyes. They're my favorite. But yeah, did I mention I use Inktense colored pencils? So technically I can water these down and make them look like watercolor, but I don't know if I'm gonna do that. I kind of like how they are right now. I basically used the colored pencils because I needed something with a lot of color and I didn't feel like painting because I thought that would take forever. And I wasn't sure how long the meeting was gonna be. So I didn't want to like get started with something and then halfway through have to stop. And so I figured colored pencil would be the fastest. So I think they turned out really well. You can see they have a lot of character to them. And I really like that. I love these eyes. I love these eyes. I'm gonna end the vlog here because it's been an entire week of my life. And I feel like I have enough footage. Sorry it wasn't as interesting as my vlogs usually are. It's just with all the tech problems with my website, it kind of took up the entire week and I didn't really have time to like sit down and film really. And there would be times when I would be wanting to film, but I didn't have my large tripod with me. Like when I was at church today, I didn't bring my big tripod, so I couldn't set y'all up to watch me paint that bookshelf, or I think it's a bookshelf. I don't know what kind of shelf it is, but it is a shelf. Um, so I apologize for not having like a lot of interesting footage, but I still think it was a productive week. I was gonna say progressive, and I was like, wait a minute, progressive? What do you mean by that? Um, if you love this video, if you love my art, it would mean the world to me if you became a member of the Kreepy Castle. Link is down below in the coconut 2 at blessayo.art/castle. You get an instant 20% off coupon code on any item in my store. You get sneak peeks of whatever it is I'm currently working on. The cat is coming in, and I lost my train of thought. Let me get the cat. You also get to contribute to future product lines. Say hi to the camera, Pimpin. Say hi to camera. Say hi to camera. It would also mean the world to me if you liked this video, commented, and subscribed to my YouTube channel for more videos and stuff. You wanna get down? Here. So I hope to see you dubs again soon. Adios.